Hi everyone, this is Karen Hooley, and I'm here today to talk to you about how to do seamless joins when you're working in the round. One of my biggest pet peeves when I'm working a hat or a garment in the round and I want the rows or the rounds to line up is that you have this really unsightly seam happening. You can see that the rounds are actually delineated here. You can see that here's round 1 and it's a perfect circle. Round 2, here's a perfect circle. Round 3, here's a perfect circle, etc. But the thing that really mars it is you can see here's where I joined all the rounds. So here when I joined it, then I chained up 3, and then the round 2, I joined it, chained up 3, and that chain 3 tends to create this seam. And in some instances, you don't want that seam. And I'm a perfectionist that way, so I really hate that seam. But over the last few years, I've been researching, trying to find ways to make the seams less visible. And I finally came across one that I really, really like. And I want to show it to you here. I'm going to switch this out to the seamless join here. And you'll notice here, again, your circles are delineated. But the difference is, and here it's a little muffled here because you can kind of see where I've been playing with it. But here is where I join and there's not a seam. And once I block this out, those little joins are going to disappear. So I want to show you how to do this. Before I do that, a lot of people will say that, oh, you could just keep going in a spiral. And you can. You could just keep going in a spiral. But what I don't like about that is when you get to the end of your piece, you have this end that just kind of cuts off. It's not a nice perfect circle right here like this one is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it over my project here that I'm starting, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So we're going to start with a normal circle. I just chained 5 and I put 12 double crochets in the circle inside the center of the chain. You can start your circle any way you want to. If you use magic loop, it works. If you use, chain 4 and then double crochet in the first chain you made and do it that way, it's up to you how you want to do it. I just did it for ease on this particular one. So let's say I'm done with round 1 and I want to do this seamless join. So the first thing you're going to do is before you even attach, you're going to chain 1. And I'll tell you what that's for in just a second. You're going to chain 1. So there's my chain 1. Then remember your first stitch of the round is that chain 3 that you did. There's other ways of doing it. I like the chain 3. You can do, link stitches and stuff like that. But in this case, I'm just going to use a regular chain 3 for that first round. So normally what you would do is instead of the chain 1, you would just join with a slip stitch. But the chain 1 is going to act as a placeholder. And you're going to actually skip over the chain 1, or the chain 3, excuse me, and move to this first actual double crochet. And you're going to slip stitch in the back loop of that second double crochet, or the first actual double crochet, even though it's the second stitch of the round. So you're going to slip stitch in the back loop. So it's kind of looks funny here, but bear with me. This is your chain 1, and that kind of is a placeholder over the top of your chain 3 here, which is your first double crochet. And then your slip stitch is in your second stitch. And you'll notice, I'm going to pull my hook out here, but if you notice right here, there is the front loop still showing, and that's a visual cue for you when you're doing the next round. So we finished round 1. We've got 12 double crochets. We joined with a chain 1 and a slip stitch. So now we're going to start round 2. And round 2, we don't have to chain up. We're just going to go ahead and double crochet in the next stitch, passing the next stitch after this stitch that has the slip stitch in it. So you're going to, in this case, we're round 2, so we're going to do 2 double crochets in that stitch. Okay. And to make a perfect circle, we have to do 2 double crochets in each double crochet around. So I'm going to do that really fast here. Okay. Now you'll see I've done all the 2 double crochets in each stitch around up to where the the chain 1 is. Now, this is where it gets a little different. You're still going to do 4 more double crochets because there's 2 stitches here we haven't worked into. And the way you do this is for the chain being your placeholder, it tells you, okay, I got to work in the stitch right below it. In this case, it's the chain 3. So we're going to yarn over and insert our hook in the top of that chain 3, which is right there. And you'll notice when I put the hook through, I'm going to get a little closer here. When I put the hook through, I'm going through front to back. So I'm also catching that chain 1 that's sitting right on top of there. So I'm going to do that first double crochet. And then I'm going to do another one in the same spot. So we still have 2 more. And remember earlier I said that the front loop of the next stitch, which is right here, sometimes you have to really look for it, but in this case it's right here. That is your visual cue for where the last stitch goes, or the last 2 stitches in this case goes. So you're going to yarn over and you're going to work through both loops of that stitch below where we worked the slip stitch. And you're going to put 2 double crochets in there. Two. Okay, so there's round 2. And by doing that, you'll notice that it looks kind of funny right now, but as I bring it closer, those last 4 stitches are actually still sitting on top of the 2 last stitches, or in this case, the first 2 stitches of the previous row. So your circle closes very nicely here in just a second. So we still have to join the round. So we do exactly the same thing. We're going to chain 1. We're going to skip that first double crochet, and then we're going to slip stitch in the back loop of the second one. So there's your circle. Now again, it still looks a little, I'm going to put this down for a second so it's flat. It's going to look a little different right now, but as you add rows or rounds, excuse me, on the top of it, you're going to see this start to disappear. So I'm going to do the next round so you can see how that works when you're not working with a chain. So in this round, because we're still increasing our circle, we're going to do 2 double crochets in the first stitch, then 1 double crochet in the next. So it's 2 double crochets in this one, 1 double crochet in this one, 2 double crochets in this one, 1 double crochet, all the way around until you get to your chain stitch that we just made. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll catch you on the other side. Okay, this is my last stitch right before the chain 1. Okay, so remember, the chain 1 is a placeholder for us, and it means we need to work in the stitch below it from the previous round. So in this case, in that first stitch, we're going to do 2 double crochets. So we're going to work through both loops in the top of that, working over the top of the chain 1. So there's 1 and 2. And then here is the front loop. I don't know if you can see it. Let me pull my hook out. This is the front loop of the next stitch. And because we're on the 3rd round, we only have to do 1 in that one. Same thing, insert and go through both loops this time. So what we're doing is we're adding a little teeny bit of bulk right there because we're working over an added stitch, but in the long run, you're not even going to see it. Now, this is going to be the same way, ends the same way. You would chain 1, you would skip the first single, or first double, excuse me, and then slip stitch in this guy, in the back loop. But I'm going to pretend that this is actually our last round, and we're going to fasten off. So instead of doing that to end off, we are just going to join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. And we're going to work in both loops. So this is the end of our circle. I'm going to just pull up the loop and put it down. Now one thing you're going to notice here is that until I actually finish it off, it's still going to look like there's a little bit of a gap there, but if I move this, actually you'll probably see that they're actually together. It's kind of hard to see when I don't cut it off. But you'll notice, again, your circles are pretty much more complete. And the seam is starting to hide now on these 2 rows, now that I've done the 3rd one. If I were to continue going, you wouldn't see that seam as we went further and further along. So I hope this was informative for you. If you have any questions, make sure you contact me at KarenHooley.com. I have a contact form at the bottom of every single page. And I want to say thank you again to Cascade Yarns They have sponsored all my videos, and for this particular video, I'm using Cascade 220 in the color green tea. So if you like working with wools like I do, and you're not allergic to them, I recommend Cascade 220 highly, because not only do you, as you can see here, you got really great stitch definition, but it's really soft to work with. So if you have any questions, let me know. And I hope you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just hit the button on the subscribe there at the bottom right-hand corner of this video, and you'll get notified as soon as I upload a brand new video. And if I go live, which I'm planning to do in the near future, you can find out immediately when I go live. Take care. Have a great one. Bye.